House Talk is brought to you by the Rhode Island Association of Realtors as we welcome Stephen Antoni, past president of the association and current chair of its Government Affairs Committee, who just happened to return from a conference in Washington with Government Affairs. So that means he's the expert, right? Thankfully, he joins us right here this morning with a housing update. Good morning, Stephen.
Good morning, Brendan. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, great to have you here. So much to talk about. We just keep hearing about housing left and right, buying, selling, how red hot the market is right now. So what do we need to know in terms of inventory and how maybe inflation is impacting that as well? There's so much to talk about.
Well, I mean, inflation is crazy and it's impacted it greatly, but the inventory is the biggest thing here. We just don't have enough houses to sell. We got plenty of buyers ready to buy, and you see the frustration every day and the fact they just can't find anything.
And we hear about houses being listed, and then we hear that it didn't even last on the market a day. Within hours, it was gone. The sign didn't even go out. You know, somebody had it so quickly. So is anything being done from your standpoint to really address that shortage? Is it a day-by-day thing? How can that be really focused upon?
Well, I mean, the whole COVID thing put us into a greater position than we're in now with this lack of housing, but we've had this problem for years before that too. They were just short on the number of houses, the number of units that were being built, and part of that is regulations, part of that is now supply, part of that is finding tradespeople to build the houses too. So we've had a lot of things come together which have slowed down this recovery, quote unquote, in the housing industry anyway.
And it's multifaceted. These things are all really connected, aren't they?
Well, absolutely. I mean, on the state level, the governor's done some things here to, put in his budget to address housing, to work on some of the, low to moderate income housing that we do have to keep it in shape, because it doesn't just, it doesn't stay good all the time.
Right.
What needs to be done.
We hear the word fluctuation with regard to this so much because it is up and down, isn't it?
The market is fluctuating. Right now, in a normal year, we would have thousands of houses available for sale. Right now, we have, I think, less than 700 statewide.
Right, it's really unbelievable. And you alluded to the governor's budget proposal investing $250 million in housing. And of course, you mentioned some of the ways that will help. Do you see the long-term benefits of this being ones that are really effective and that are going to help people on that track to home ownership, or is it going to take some time?
It's definitely going to take some time. I mean, we're trying to heal a disparity in housing that's been going on for 75 years or more. And now the fact that there's just not houses available, it's not going to be an overnight fix. It's going to take some time, it's going to take legislation, and it's going to take out-of-the-box thinking as well.
For you, from your perspective, do you think that some of the barriers which we've come to witness and see firsthand when people do have an opportunity before them will start to be broken down a little bit? But there will always be challenges, I would presume.
There's always going to be challenges. I hope some of these things are broken down. I say that because I think we all know, the wind blows back and forth all the time in this world. But some of the changes that can be made, and as part of the governor's budget, some of the things we're addressing was, for example, the accessory dwelling units. And this was giving older folks an opportunity to age in place, because they might have a house that's fully paid off now and they say, well, it's too big, let's sell it, but there's no place for them to go. There's nothing for them to buy.
Yeah, these are the ongoing challenges, and I know that you are doing your best to really help to mollify and make things a little better for people. So, Stephen, thanks for being with us and breaking it down a little bit.
Not a problem, anytime.
All right, well, the door's open. We'll see you again soon.
All right, thank you.
Sounds like a plan. This segment was brought to you by the Rhode Island Association of Realtors. You can learn more all about them and have even more of your questions answered by just heading over to rhodeshow.com.